Hello, folks, and welcome to the Democratizing SEO podcast, a podcast for marketers who seek to have a better understanding of the SEO channel in order to engage with it more successfully. My name is Austine Esezobor. I am an SEO consultant and your host for this podcast. Let me share with you a unique way of looking at SEO, a way that looks at SEO from a slightly different angle. So, you're aware that SEO is all about making improvements, right? When you look at SEO at its core, its agenda is simply to improve upon your current status. Now, if SEO is this simple, why is SEO so hard sometimes? Well, here's the thing about optimization. Yes, SEO is all about improving upon a current status. However, the current status is not linear. It fluctuates often. Just like your rankings can and will fluctuate, your overall SEO status can and will fluctuate depending on many factors. A lot of the time, it's a combination of factors that eventually sees your rankings change for the worse. At this point where your rankings change, it's not the rankings that needs to be worked on. It's the things, the factors that led to your rankings worsening that needs to be improved. So yes, whilst SEO is all about improvement, the issue with improvements, the issue with your SEO is that its current status changes often. This leads SEOs SEOing, i.e. making improvement from this deficit. This deficit is usually not considered. The factors that led to the deficit are usually not considered. What ends up being considered is that rankings have dropped and improvement needs to be made. This is the way it usually goes, isn't it? There are many businesses that don't even consider SEO until they've spotted a problem. For many businesses, a problem with SEO begins with a drop in rankings. There are SEOs all over the world that know that this is far from true. But yet, most businesses look at the bottom line and don't see anything earlier than rankings. It's a shame because this makes SEO more difficult than it needs to be. This makes SEO a hell of a lot more challenging. This makes SEO less easy. I propose to you that to make progress with your SEO, to realize improvements, you simply have to stop making SEO less easy. Here's the reality of SEO. SEOs are always SEOing, constantly. The reason you may not see the ROI you may be looking for is that SEOs end up spending their time continuously battling from a deficit. We spend a hell of a lot of time firefighting. Your website's visibility in the SERPs is delicate and vulnerable. It's delicate because it can and is affected by every and anything done to and or for your website. It's vulnerable because any and everyone that has a touch point with your website has the ability to impact its visibility, to worsen it. And it should be no surprise to you that those that have the ability to worsen your site's visibility are non-SEOs that have a touch point with your website. Every decision that's made to and for your website will have an impact on its search visibility. Yet SEOs are only engaged with after the fact, when your search visibility has been impacted negatively. Well, at that point, the damage has already been done. Whilst the goal of SEO is to make improvement, your SEO will be seeking to make improvement from a worsened position. Plus, they'll be seeking to not let things get any worse. You see? Whilst you may be seeking an improved bottom line, The reality is you first have to prevent the bottom line from going into or further into the negative. Optimization is continuous. It's always happening. If you're not seeing the results of it in the bottom line, it's very likely because SEOs are still addressing a blockage or two, preventing the bottom line from improving. I can tell you, without a shadow of a doubt, the biggest blockage that impacts your bottom line is a lack of awareness of SEO. A lack of awareness of SEO is what's making your SEO less easy. Let me explain why. SEOs know SEO. We're aware of what impacts your SEO. We're not going to mess up your site because we're aware of what impacts your site's visibility in the SERPs. Non-SEOs, on the other hand, tend not to know. They tend not to know unless a conscious effort is in place to spread awareness of SEO to non-SEOs. And by non-SEOs, I'm referring to any and everyone that has a touch point with your website. Their actions on the site, for the site, will impact the site's visibility in the SERPs. This creates a deficit in your SEO performance. SEOs then have to make improvement from this deficit. You see, the lack of awareness of SEO for non-SEOs leaves your SEO open to being compromised. When you can make improvements from a status that's stable, then you'll really be making progress with your SEO. How do you influence stability in your SEO? You ensure you spread awareness of SEO to non-SEOs. You promote SEO awareness throughout your business. You do this consistently. This will allow for improvements to flow easily rather than less easily. I challenge you. Have a look at any business that has good, consistent SEO. I can guarantee you that they focus on their SEO awareness across their business. This is often what separates businesses that win at SEO from those that consistently struggle with it. They simply remove SEO blockages that prevent traffic from flowing. And they do this by promoting SEO awareness to non-SEOs. This is the key. This is the solution. This is the difference maker. All right, folks, let's leave it there for now. Stay tuned for more from Democratizing SEO. Subscribe to the podcast. You can find it on your podcasting app of choice. All right, folks, my name is Austine Esezobor. I'm an SEO guy. I'll be with you on a weekly basis to enlighten you on wielding SEO to success. That will do it for now, folks. Until next time, bye for now.